Hi, my name is Mawahib, and I'm going to be doing my assignment about MBTI in dating specifically. So the article that I chose is called How to Use the MBTI to Understand Love, Dating, and Compatibility. So the article starts by critiquing the generic advice like just be confident or go with the flow, or go for a dinner, go for a movie, and the author calls it too broad. And according to the author, what works for one personality may fall flat on another personality. The article also argues that romantic attraction is not random but follows observational patterns based on the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, aka the MBTI. It also suggests that knowing your own and your partner's for MBTI can help predict what each of you value. For example, how you communicate or what kind of dates you like, how you express your attraction, and all that stuff. In order to make dating more intentional and more effective and efficient. So the author uses 3 key frameworks that he calls compatibility flavors. The first one is kindred spirit, which is almost identical MBTI personalities except for your E and I, and it offers a deep mutual understanding. The second one is opposite half, that has the same middle traits but opposite I and E and J and P. That apparently is supposed to give complementary strengths, like one person is more structured, one person more spontaneous, and they're supposed to complement each other. The last one is missing piece, where everyone has the same perceiving style, S and N, but opposite everything else. And it's supposed to provide growth through differences. These are all pretty dumb, but that is what it says in the article. And while the article acknowledges that there's no pairing is guaranteed happiness, and that every relationship still requires compromise and work, it does say that MBTI-based matching can significantly improve your chances of connecting with someone compatibly, and also reduces wasted time with mismatched dates. So, as for the my critiques, so 1, it treats the MBTI as if it's scientifically valid for predicting behaviors, which it obviously is not. And a lot of psychologists consider it low in validity and low in reliability, because it is. And that basically means that people's MBTI tends to change often, and it brings a question that if this is your personality type for sure, why is it changing all the time? Why can I take the test one week and then take it another week and they're two completely different opposite ends of the spectrum? If it's supposed to be fixed, if that's supposed to be my personality. Another thing is that MBTI does not predict real world behaviors like relationship success, communication styles, or conflict patterns. And the article assumes that MBTI types are fixed and behaviorally meaningful, which they're not. Another thing is that it overstates patterns and claims, and deterministic claims. So the author says that romantic attraction follows predictable patterns, air quotes, but provides no data, no studies, no statistical evidence, and the only thing that is provided are anecdotes. And it treats personal experience and observations as if they're universal truth, which we obviously know is not true, when real relationships are far more complex than that. Also, it massively oversimplifies human personality. That's like a given. There's only 16 categories in the MBTI, even though there's so much more, there's so much more than that. And in those 16 boxes, you can only be the extreme end of each. You can't be in between. You can't be neutral. You have to pick a side, basically. And as for my research, I chose this article that I found on Omni, which is called Imagine Interaction and Personality Preferences as Predictors of Relationship Quality. It was done by James M. Honeycutt, and I do not know how to say this guy's first name, but his last name is Keaton. Shaugan Keaton, something like that. But it was done at the Louisiana State University. So in this peer-reviewed academic study, it's tested whether MBTI personality preferences and imagined interaction patterns can actually predict relationship satisfaction using real world data. So they took 136 couples that were either dating, engaged, or married, and each partner took the MBTI test, the Survey of Imagined Interactions, and the Quality of Marriage Index. So after the study, they found that only 2 MBTI dimensions showed any meaningful statistical associations, and that was people who are higher in extroversion have high relationship satisfaction, which is a given, and people high in judgment also had higher relationship satisfaction. So the way that this article can be used to link back to critiquing the first source that I used is that MBTI does not determine who you're compatible with. The study found 0 evidence that MBTI opposites or similarities can even predict relationship satisfaction. Another thing is that attraction is not predictable based on MBTI patterns. The study tested the actual statistical relationship between MBTI and relationship quality, and the only things they found, as stated previously, were extroversion and judging, even though they both had a weak association compared to everything else they tested. The last thing is that real predictors of relationship satisfactions are not MBTI, but communication patterns. So they found that the strongest predictors were imagined interaction variables, not MBTI, which is frequent mental rehearsals, detailed mental imagery, reflective, retroactive talking, pleasant emotional tone. Basically, just thinking before you speak, watching what you say and how you say it, and just giving more thought into what you say before you say it. Another thing is that we learned in class is that compatibility is impossible to determine. There was a study where people took a test about their compatibility, but when they ended up meeting that actual person, they were extremely compatible with them or not extremely compatible with them, but it was vastly different from their actual tests that they did. So now just the end is the takeaway. I just need to say that MBTI is good if you just do it for fun. If it's just a little side thing that you do, if you just have it with your friends, oh, what's your MBTI? Or what's your MBTI? Just something some cute little thing with your friends, right? But it becomes a problem when you actually take it to heart, when you let the MBTI actually affect how you treat people and how you see people and how you treat and see yourself. That's when there's an actual problem. That's when you need to take a step back and think, because MBTI has been proven time and time again to not be only unreliable and not have good validity. It's just scientifically not proven. There's so much stuff about it that is there's so much flaws that you can't be taking this seriously. There's so many flaws in this thing where it's you generally can't be taking this seriously. It's okay if it's just for fun, but don't take it to heart, right? And as the professor said before, if it's trying to sell you something, it's probably not good. But yeah, that is all for my assignment, and I hope you enjoyed listening.